Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Barbecue Bourbon and Blues with the Word Brothers. I'm your host, Khalid Word, along with my brother Skip.
Hey, how y'all doing?
And today we have a very special episode, all right? So today we have one of my good friends, Sam Polk Jr. here, author of a book, Lane College graduate, podcast. He has his own podcast called the Melanated Power Hour. And we're going to get in with him to talk about blues because a couple of you guys have been telling me you want to hear about blues. So this is going to be the guy that's going to let us know some things about blues. Now, if you're a returner, thank you for coming back. We really appreciate you. If you're new to the channel, thank you for coming and viewing. If you like what we're doing, make sure you subscribe, comment, like, and share the channel. All right? Today we're going to do some twice smoked ham, and we'll get into that in a few minutes. But right now, I'm going to hit my brother up, the self-proclaimed greatest taste master ever.
I think I've drank everything under the sun.
And we're going to see what he has for us today. What you got for us today, bro?
All right, today, for the last few shows, we've been on the high-end bourbons, all right? For high dollar pockets, so, people like me, for like Khalid, he got to get on this low end right here. This Evans Williams, 1783.
Now, wait a minute. I'm the one to buy your checks.
Man, you honestly bought this, so I guess I must be slipping. So I went from high end to mid-shelf to almost bottom, I think. But anyway, it goes. Evan Williams is distilled out of Kentucky. It's small batch. It's probably been aged for about, I think about 4 to 5 years or so. You see the little amber bronze flame color to it. All right, to the nose, you're gonna get the regular heavy scented bourbon accents that you normally have: caramel, oak, a little leather. Depending on, Khalid might have ate some leather before, but I don't know why.
I don't know what leather tastes like.
He might have chewed on the leather coat, but obviously it's about 45% alcohol volume, so that's probably gonna round off to maybe about a 90 proof. All right. So without further ado, we gonna get into this tasting. All right. To see what we gonna see what it actually tastes like. Get to that.
Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. 90 proof, huh?
90 proof, I think. Yeah, if my math is right.
Yes, sir.
Well, we know you're not a math man.
No, I
be tricky.
I had to go to summer school twice for math.
And that was general math.
And that was 7th and 8th grade. I went to summer school both years. 2 get to high school.
You weren't drinking back then, was
We might have back then Mad Dog, Thunderbird, right before we went to school or something like that.
Yes, sir.
But all right, to the tasting notes, it says you may get like a hint of vanilla and little marshmallows when you actually tasting it. The finish is gonna be kind of not smooth, but kind of a little intense because it got that sort of a high alcohol volume in it, and then it mellows out at the end. All right, all right.
Well, salute.
Salute, sir. Salute.
Not bad for
Not bad. Not bad.
Not bad for what you paid.
Yes, sir.
A little or nothing. That's probably what he paid for. I don't even know. Last week was homecoming, so we were drinking good. Now we back down to the
Yes, sir.
$15.
$15. Oh, well, $15. Then you don't pair this with no good cigar. You pair it with Khalid's favorite, Black and Mild.
Hey, Black and Mild, if you're watching, I need a lifetime supply. All right? Wood tip. I don't want the plastic tip.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, so while I'm doing this, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to hit it with a little olive oil, some spray oil. Then I'm going to season it up, okay? And while I'm doing this, we're going to let Brother Sam school us on the history of blues.
All right. Yes, sir.
So, my first question is, how and where did blues begin?
Well, let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
Primarily, we as an African American people, we are West African people.
Okay.
Meaning that when the slave traders came and got us from the continent, they got us primarily from the West African region.
All right.
We invented the stringed vibration instrument. Basically, you would call that a banjo, which is an African word, West African word, or the guitar.
Okay.
So we already were playing such instruments.
All right. So you're already familiar with it.
Absolutely. The call and response that you are familiar with in the black church, that is a West African invention. So we were already singing and telling our stories that way. So when they brought us here in the field to vent frustration, to communicate different ideas to different people, we would use that call and response
Okay.
in a musical way so that the overseer would think we were just singing. But we were really communicating with each other.
Good form of communication.
Absolutely. So if you fast forward a little bit, post-Civil War, that became slavery by another name, which would be sharecropping.
Okay.
So the sharecropper, it went from a group activity to an individualized thing. So the sharecropper would sit on his porch with his family, with his banjo or his rudimentary guitar, and singing these songs. The call and response would be individualized from the singer to whoever was listening. This is the birth of the blues.
All right.
If you want to pinpoint one place on the entire planet where blues was created, I'm going to say, first of all, you can't do that. As a historian, it would be irresponsible for me to just say, this is the spot.
Okay.
But if you had to have a spot for tourists, so to speak, it would be a place called Dockery Plantation, or Dockery Farms now, to be more polite with it. It's a place in Ruralville, Mississippi, in between the Sunflower River and Ruralville. It's about a 26,000 plus acre plantation, really what it is, for cotton production and sorghum. The reason why we say this is the birthplace of the blues is because a man named Henry Sloan used to live there. Henry Sloan was an African American who traveled to Hawaii, and he noticed how they would play their stringed instrument. So he played it in the same fashion. A unique new form of music, which we would call the prototype or the archetype of what we know now as the blues. On that same plantation was a man named Charlie Patton. Charlie Patton was born where I was born, Hinds County, Mississippi. Charlie Patton used to listen to Henry Sloan play. Henry Sloan influenced him and taught him how to play.
Okay.
Charlie Patton would be the recognized first Delta blues man, because he's the first to record. He was the first to take it from the field holler to the juke joint, and we would recognize him. And also B.B. King recognized him as the father of the blues, and he recognizes Dockery Farms as the birthplace of the blues. Not to be too long-winded, but that's where it started. That's where it came from. Field hollers and us carrying on traditions from West Africa that we brought with us. Yes, sir.
Well, I know on a standardized test, I probably failed that part too, because when they asked me name 3 kinds of blues,
Yes, sir.
instead of the colors, I said gut bucket, barrel holler.
Well, you right. You would pass my test because you have something called a governance structure.
Okay.
And that's the way we see things.
Okay.
We don't care how they see them.
Right.
You're right. You're absolutely right. If you ask me how many, the first type of blues was the Delta blues.
Okay.
But you got city blues, you got slick blues, you got southern soul, you got all kind of different genres of it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So you are absolutely right. That's the way we see it.
Man, I think I got a whooping for failing that test. See, man, I told you I was right.
Absolutely.
It wasn't Navy, Royal, and Sky. I told you.
And I just sat there and listened to him get that whooping. And I didn't say nothing, because I was saying gut bucket too. Because that's what he told.
Check it out. There's a good bucket, Mississippi. So
Really?
sometimes you say things and you don't know where you got it from. You heard that from somebody that knew what they was talking about.
Okay.
But Gut Bucket, Mississippi produces if you ever been to the grocery store and you see that red bucket with the white lid, what's in that?
Chilies.
Gut bucket, Mississippi. It's the factory where they come from.
Really?
Yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't
You
know
talking
that.
to a native Mississippian, so you on the right track.
Oh man, I didn't know that. Well, I gotta get to Mississippi then.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I gotta get the gut bucket Mississippi too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
Bring
gotta.
us some of them buckets back.
Absolutely. But you have a smart listenership. If they picking up on, they wanting or craving the history of where blues come from. The blues is so important because it gives you so many genres of American music. Rock and roll came from the blues. Country came from the blues. Rockabilly, R&B. It was born out of that Delta, where that original Delta blues came from.
Okay.
So they should request to know where it comes from or to have more history about it. And I'll go in whatever direction you want me to go into, brother, man. Just keep the questions, and if I got an answer, I give it to you. If I don't, I'll say I don't know.
Okay, so what we getting ready to do right now is we're gonna move this show along a little bit, and then we're gonna get back to
Yes,
it.
sir.
All right.
Yes,
So
sir.
we get to the book.
Yeah, so we can talk about books and more of this, more of the blues and things like that. Okay. So if you hear some noise in the background, that's because we're in a neighborhood and people are doing their weekend things. All right.
Sure.
So I've seasoned this up with garlic jalapeno rub. All right. And like I said, it's gonna be a twice smoked ham. We'll catch you at the smoker in a few minutes. Barbecue Bourbon and Blues with the Word Brothers and my brother Sam Polk Jr.
Sure.
See you in a second. All right, so like I said before, I took my ham, laid it on a rack. I used this rack here, like the rack above, so it could be, so I could move it around easily. I sprayed it with a little oil. Now I'm just going to finish seasoning it up, all right? And like I said, my people like it spicy, so I'm using a little garlic jalapeno rub by Heath Riles today. We're going to try this out on this ham. All right, so I got it all seasoned up. I'll see you at the smoker in a few minutes. All right, welcome back. We're down here at the smoker, Masterbuilt 1050, doing the twice smoked ham, all right? So you saw me spray it down with olive oil, season it up with Heath Riles Garlic Jalapeno, all right? Now I'm about to get it on the smoker, okay? We're gonna roll the smoker at 275. Now, if you can tell, I didn't put it directly on the grates. I have it in a pan, okay? And you can see the little rack I have on top of it. This is gonna help you out a little bit, all right? So we're gonna put this on. I'm just gonna slide it right here in the middle. We'll close it down and let Masterbuilt 1050 do its thing, all right? Now, this recipe here will have you right for Thanksgiving, Christmas, or just any time. If you just want to make some sandwiches or whatever, you could do this recipe and it save you some money. Instead of having to go to Honey Baked Ham and pay them prices, you can just follow this recipe and you're going to knock it out the park, all right? So we'll see you back in a few minutes. We're going to get back with my brother Sam and the greatest taste master ever, and we're going to partake in some bourbon, and we're going to keep talking about blues, and we're going to get into his book and things like that, all right? See you back in a second. Barbecue Bourbon and Blues with the Word Brothers. All right, we're back with my brother Sam Polk Jr. here with Barbecue Bourbon and Blues on this special episode, and I'm loving this today because I'm learning a lot of history, all right? So now we're going to get into a couple of questions about the blues. You've heard the beginning of history. We're going to get into a couple of questions about the blues.
Yes, sir.
Skip, you got any questions for Sam?
Yeah, can you expound some more on the Robert Johnson and the crossroads
Absolutely.
myth, or as I don't know, a myth or if it actually happened?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hold on. What, Robert Johnson? Crossroads, that's Bone Thugs in Harmony. What you talking about? Some Crossroads?
This is about 100 years before that.
Oh, okay, all right. But,
you must miss your Uncle Charles.
yeah.
and
my dog.
Yes, sir.
My dog.
But as as I mentioned earlier about Charlie Patton being the first recognized father of the blues, one of the young men that he tutored was a man named Robert Johnson.
Okay.
Robert Johnson could not sing to save his life. He could not play the guitar worth a damn. So, frustrated, he took a walk one night on Dockery Farms, because that's where he was working. He came to a big crossroads. As a matter of fact, I'll be there next weekend. There's a couple spots designated as the crossroads.
Okay.
Most of them are for tourists, but there's one that's about a mile outside of Dockery Farms. The rest of them are about 45 miles away, which makes no historical sense. Like if a man is taking a walk to clear his head, why would he walk 45? It'd be morning before he got there. So it's the one right outside of Dockery Farm. And as the legend goes, he met the devil. And the devil said, if you let me tune your guitar, you'll be able to play anything you want to. And he made a song about it. However, just to the nerd in me has to dig deeper.
Yeah.
There was a religious system in West Africa that we brought here called Vodun. Now, if you want to be vulgar about it, you'll say voodoo. That's the way the European heard it.
Okay.
So, in Vodun, you have different urethras or gods. And one of them is Oshun. Oshun is the god of the crossroads.
Okay.
So he will meet you. He's not satanic, he's not evil. He just makes you make a decision. I don't care what you choose, you just got to do something. You can't be stagnant. Go left or go right.
Right.
So he made him choose. And after he chose and he took that walk that night, he could play without a lesson. He could play anything he wanted to play. And he became the first blues superstar, so to speak. If you want to read more about him, there's a book called Portrait of a Phantom, the story of Robert Johnson's lost photograph. There's only one photograph known of him. This is one that somebody found of him, and that's him on the
right.
Yes, sir. Robert Johnson. If Charlie Patton was the father of the blues, Robert Johnson is the first son of the blues, so to speak. So Robert Johnson is somebody that if you're interested in the blues, its origins and where it came from, you need to look him up. He's one of he wrote the blueprint for everybody after him to do what he did. Now, if you want to speculate on whether that story is true, you go right ahead. I won't argue with you.
Okay.
But something happened on that crossroad, and he learned how to play.
Well, since you're going to visit it in the pretty soon, if you come back throwing down on
you come back thumping.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So which one you gonna choose, the electric or the bass?
Well, here's the thing. When I come back, I ain't gonna play until I come back. So if I can play, that's your answer. If I can't play,
that's my answer.
That's your answer. Yes,
all right. Well, we gonna make sure we do an episode with Sam after he come back to see if he can play it or not.
Yes, sir.
All right. And I'm gonna have an electric and a bass there because I can't play either one of them. But if he pick that thing up and start strumming,
look out.
Because he might be the next superstar. He's already a star now, but he might be the next one.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, Sam, tell me who your favorite blues artist is.
Okay. The answer might shock you because I don't have a musical note in my body, but I am a blues man. Growing up where I grew up, our radio stations are either blues or gospel. That's it. So I can tell you about all the greats, but I also can tell you about the people you haven't heard of. Okay. So my favorite blues musician would be a man named Junior Kimbrough. I'm pretty sure you haven't heard of him.
Have not heard of him.
Junior Kimbrough never recorded an album until the final months of his life. Somebody finally talked him into it. What he did was he had a juke joint in northwest Mississippi, where all the blues singers would come and play. And you wasn't worth your salt unless you showed out in his club. But he would play every night. And everybody, from people like Eric Clapton, the Rolling Stones, would study how he played his guitar and how he sung. And it's about the most purest form of Delta blues. If you are watching this, you certainly have YouTube. Look up Junior Kimbrough, Done Got Old. That's his last song. He's saying, I done got old. And if the hair on your arms don't stand up, you ain't got a soul. So Junior Kimbrough would be my favorite blues musician. Heard him play in person several times. But my favorite, I guess you would say, official blues musician would be Bobby Blue Bland. That's my guy.
That's a good one.
Now you have Bobby Blue Bland would be city blues, slick blues.
Yeah.
Ain't no love in the city.
Yeah.
But you have several different types of blues. One of my favorite is Zydeco. Zydeco is a mix of the Delta blues or the country blues with the city blues, and it becomes Zydeco. It's big in Louisiana.
Yeah.
And there's a guy named Jeter.
Okay.
Cheater.
And he's got a song called "Don't Step on My Boots." You better watch my boots, like Lil Boosie.
Yeah, well, that's what I would do. Watch
And,
my shoes.
The younger listeners would really like that. And he's keeping the traditions of blues going, the folk ways, the mores, and the norms. But it's got that heavy bass line and that beat that young people would like. Yes, sir. So Junior Kimbrough and Bobby Blue Bland would be my favorite.
Bobby Blue Bland.
Yeah, speaking of that Zydeco, we were in New Orleans not too long ago, and I saw the most beautifulest woman. I had to go to Keith Murray. I already
That's
know.
what I was about to say.
I already
He
know
said
the most beautifulest.
I was
Yes,
like,
if
I
you
don't
were-
think that's a word, but okay.
So if you're familiar with hip hop artist Keith Murray, he had a song called "The Most
He also
Beautifulest
said,
Thing
he
in
also
This
said
World."
she had a Dunkin' Donuts.
It's just like that. I saw the most beautifulest woman I ever saw dancing to Zydeco, and I tried to get out there. I ain't know not one step.
It's a science to it. And what's funny is, historically speaking, that Zydeco dancing is straight from the plantation.
Okay.
And that's how slaves would relieve steam and let off steam. As we talked earlier, that those musical forms were to vent frustration. You raising sand about your overseer. He don't know what's going on because he don't understand nothing.
Correct.
Even not to stray too far off, but it's all in the subject of African Americans. You ever heard the tale of Brer Rabbit?
Yeah.
Brer Rabbit is Bugs Bunny. But Brer Rabbit is a tale that we used to tell in West Africa that we brought here with us. And Brer Rabbit is not Brer Rabbit. We were saying Bruh Rabbit or Brother Rabbit. The overseer heard Brer Rabbit.
Okay.
Brer Rabbit was a trickster. He's Oshun. That's the guy that I believe Robert Johnson saw at the crossroad. He made you make a decision. He kept things lighthearted. He kept it funny. If you don't laugh, sometimes you'll cry. You understand?
Yeah.
But they took that and reappropriated it into Bugs Bunny. So if we don't tell our own stories like you good brothers are doing, somebody else will tell them for you. I don't want to be too long-winded, but that's my stance on that.
All right, well, tell me about the rest of these books you got here, man.
For the listener at home that was wanting to know more about blues, I brought some books books on a budget.
Okay.
If you go to eBay, you can find these books for less than $5.
Okay.
So there's no excuse if you don't want to know. It's because you don't want to know.
Correct.
The information is out there. I buy used books.
Okay.
Because the words are the same.
That's
so
right.
this $40 book is $5 on eBay. The Land Where the Blues Began. This is by Alan Lomax. His father was enamored by the blues, so the son went out to the Delta in Mississippi and he captured all these stories from the farmers, the sharecroppers, many of whom were blues men. And he compiled them in this book, and it'll teach you a lot about the blues. Speaking of the blues, this is Muddy Waters on the cover. Blues Records edited by Paul Oliver. A guide to blues. It'll tell you the best classic blues to go buy and the stories behind them. That's Muddy Waters on the cover if you wanted to know who that was.
Yeah,
I think
I do.
you're better at showing that.
Yeah,
Also, there's a myth that blues came from the gospel. It's the other way around. So if you wonder why your great grandmama used to say quit listening to that devil's music, it's because the gospel came from the blues. The rise of gospel blues and where I come from, other than them mentioning Jesus and the Lord our Savior, you wouldn't tell the difference between gospel or the blues. So the rise of gospel blues, the music of Thomas Andrew Dorsey in the urban church, Go check that out. The author is Michael Harris. It'll give you a lot of insight on that. Also, I know it's not blues, but they're close cousins. Jazz, Religion, The Second Line, and New Orleans After Hurricane Katrina by Richard Turner. It tells the story of things that we brought with us from West Africa that contributed to these musical forms and these art forms that we have as African Americans. We may not know where they come from. It's called genetic memory.
Okay.
You do things for so long, you forget why you do them.
Yeah.
But just like your mama told you something that you're going to tell your children, going back 100, 200, 300, 400 years, somebody told you something that is passed down to you. And these things are reflected in our music, from hoodoo to voodoo, Vodun, and so on and so forth. Last one is, and I'm a nerd, so forgive me.
Oh man, this is much needed.
The History of the Blues, which is probably the best, by Francis Davis. It gives a chronology. As a historian, I don't care nothing about what you heard, what you thought, what somebody told you. I just want the facts.
Correct.
This book, and you can't have facts without a chronology. So this book gives you a chronology, or the order of blues, starting from the beginning,
From the very beginning.
from the continent to now. And I would suggest that before you get any of them, get these. And I'm sorry, this book's so old it don't have a cover, but it's just simply entitled The Blues.
All right, can you zoom in on this, or can I walk over to you and show you? All right.
So hopefully that'll satisfy the appetite of your listenership that wants to know a little bit more about the blues, and we can go even further if you want to, man. I'm at your disposal.
Well, we might go further at some point, but before we get, to that point,
Yes, sir.
I just want to let you know that whatever you do, if you're around my brother, don't play Soul Heaven, because he every time. Man, especially when they say two pocket biggie,
Hey, don't
boy,
play
he
it.
passes out.
Don't play it around me either, because we both gonna cry.
Y'all both gonna cry.
And I'll tell you something else. The song I told you about Junior Kimbrough, I Done Got Old.
Yeah.
Trust me, listen to it. It made me cry every time.
Make you cry every time.
Because he never got to record. And the second he got to record, his lyrics were telling you why I can't do it like I used to do
And he
it. 'Cause I done
passed
got
away.
old. So I totally understand you. Man.
Now, is this juke joint still there?
Absolutely.
It's still rolling.
Red's Juke Joint and Ground Zero. If you want to know about the blues, the roof is dripping with it. The floors are slippery with it. If you want the blues, go to them two spots, and you're gonna see what I'm talking about.
Well, when I go, I'm gonna go with you.
Absolutely,
Is that
absolutely. Yes, sir.
Well,
Yes,
we're
sir.
gonna take a trip. We're gonna take a barbecue, bourbon, and blues trip, and we're gonna go to Mississippi. All right. So I hope this talk helped y'all out. We got to do what we have to do with what we can with the way things are with the channel,
Yes,
with
sir.
YouTube and
Yes, sir.
everything.
Yes, sir.
So we want to follow all the rules.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
However, we will be we gonna set up a trip to Mississippi
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
visit some of
We're
these
gonna go
spots.
to Dockery Farms. We're gonna go to the Mississippi Blues Trail, which is over 200 historical markers, which I have been to about 90 of them. Still working on them.
Okay.
We can go through all of that, and you're gonna see where moonshine was born, and where NASCAR came from us
Okay.
trying to transport moonshine and souping up our cars not to get caught by police. But that's where NASCAR came from. But
that's
I'll show you all of that.
Yeah, that's for another conversation. You're gonna have that off camera.
Yes, sir.
all
I'm sorry.
So I thank you for bringing that up. All right, so we're gonna get back with y'all in a few. When we come back with Brother Sam, we're gonna talk about his book.
Yes, sir.
All right.
And
We'll
we
catch
will-
y'all back.
And we will have all these books in our description, in our drop down description, so you'll see it on the YouTube channel. All right.
Yes,
All
sir. Yes, sir.
Now make sure you get out there and subscribe, comment, like, and share the channel. Okay.
Absolutely.
We'll see you back in a few.
People who like it and subscribe it go to heaven.
That's right. Barbecue, Bourbon, and Blues with the Word Brothers and my brother Sam.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, this has been on for a minute. I'm about to check it. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of apple juice and water mix. 50-50 in this, all right? Now, they was giving me giving me a little bit of flack because I did the water and they told me, man, you don't know how much you put in there. I said, yeah, I do. I just looked at it. I said, yeah, that's about a cup and a half. It was a little bit over a cup and a half, so I put it in a measuring cup just to show them I knew what I was talking about, all right? So now I'm about to lift this thing up. Ooh, look at it. This twice smoked ham, you see that? I ain't finna put my hand on it too tough because you know it's a little hot. But I'm gonna spray it down a little bit. And I'm gonna spray it down a little bit. I'm gonna spin it around. Alright. Spray that side. And then I'm gonna let it sit. I'm gonna let this thing sit right here for about another 45 minutes. At that point, we're gonna start putting that glaze on there. It's gonna be a nice glaze. It's gonna be a surprise for you. Make sure you keep watching, because we're gonna hit you with a glaze where you ain't got, or where you don't have to go to honey baked ham. All right.
And make sure you keep drinking that 1783.
Evan Wick. Yeah. The one where he was complaining about, talking about, oh man, I must have did something wrong. Nah, I'm just gotta show him. I gotta show him that it ain't gonna always be up top shelf and above. Sometimes you gotta bring a brother back to reality. So that's what I'm doing today.
It's nice.
And he's enjoying it.
It's
so
real
make
nice.
sure you get out there and get you some of that Evan Williams 1783. All right. And we're going to catch you back in a minute. Barbecue Bourbon and Blues with the Word Brothers and my brother Sam. In a few seconds, we're going to get into his book, okay? Catch you back in a minute. See you. All right, everybody. Welcome back to Barbecue Bourbon and Blues with the Word Brothers.
Go ahead, man. What you gonna do, man?
When you turned around, I thought all of a sudden I had to smack somebody like you. No. Hey. Brother Sam had to leave. He had to go to a different engagement. But we're going to get into this glaze that you're going to put on this twice smoked ham. All right? And it's going to be delicious. It's a bourbon honey glaze. All right? So, first thing I'm going to do is take this cup, 1 cup of honey.
That's bourbon.
Oh. Well, thank you.
See,
this is why I got you to make sure to. I'm gonna take that 1 cup of bourbon. Now put it. This is why I got you. All right, ain't no cute cars. Don't worry about it.
let me tell y'all this. Barbecue bourbon and
Barbecue Bourbon and Blues.
Yeah, family. I'm not a big one of putting bourbon in nothing. We drink it. We don't eat it. Like, but they like to incorporate it.
Well, I'm gonna incorporate it
in their
everything
recipes,
that
but
I
I like to drink it. They like to incorporate it in recipes, which is good though.
Yeah.
So
this is for y'all, all right? So I'm gonna take 1 cup of honey.
There's 1 cup of bourbon, 1 cup of honey,
and I'm gonna put it in here.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm gonna have to do this real quick, but it don't matter because it's all gonna go in here together. So I'm gonna show you what it is. 1 cup of honey. Guess what, Skip?
What's that?
I'm glad we ain't got no Worcester or Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah, cause you can't pronounce none of it. I don't know how you pronounce it.
Don't worry about it.
Worcester or is it Worcestershire?
It don't matter which one you want to call. All right, so I'm gonna take 2 tablespoons of mustard, and I'm gonna get it in here. 2 tablespoons in.
What kind of mustard you want? Regular, French's?
Well, you could do regular mustard. I like doing Dijon. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now I'm gonna take about 1/3 cup of molasses. Okay? And I'm gonna put this in here. Now the recipe will be down below for all y'all who like being precise. Now, as we said on the other episode, I know how to eyeball stuff. I can look at it, yeah, that's about a third. You, on the other hand,
Well, how do you get some experience from eyeballing?
you just got a trial and error. Trial and error. That's how you get some experience
Good
on
answer.
eyeball.
Good answer.
Yeah. Trust me, and I got a lot of that. From the 80s, 90s, I had to learn as a young child. Hey man, that ain't no third of cup. Pow! My daddy hit me in the back of the head. Pow! My mama hit me. No, that ain't no half cup. Pow! So I learned how to eyeball stuff. But if you don't know how to do it, I suggest you get so you don't get hit in the back of the head. I suggest you get a cup. You know, some measuring cups and teaspoons or whatever you gotta do. Cause they'll teach you quick. Alright, so I got that in there. Next thing I'm gonna use is 18 ounces of preserves.
What type of...
Now I know, this is what I know. Our grandmamas used to have like cherries and pineapples and all of that on hams. Alright? So I'm gonna do this cherry preserve. And I'm gonna get all of this in here.
The whole can.
The whole can, the whole bottle. It's all going in here. I'm gonna get as much as I can of it out of this bottle in here. You ain't got no, you don't have no thoughts about that?
Yeah, maybe the ancestors are frowning down up on you if you use them cherry preserve. What they normally honey. You know that. What do we normally use? Honey. Honey has always been the
Honey's in
super
here.
glaze.
Alright. Now, this is the next thing you gotta do. You gotta use about a half a cup.
Half.
Now I can eyeball this and tell you that you poured too much. Cause he don't know how to eyeball. So I'm gonna put about half this in here. We're gonna do about a half a cup of this brown sugar. Alright? And I'm gonna use the tongs just to break it up a little bit. You see that? And I'm gonna do about a half a cup of this.
Well, let me tell you this. Where I'm from, even if you eyeball it and it's a little bit over, that keeps them coming back. So the glaze is gonna keep them coming back. Where it's a little bit over,
Nah.
or a little bit short.
Alright, so now I'm gonna get this on this on the eye, and we're gonna reduce it for about 20 or 25 minutes. What is the producer talking about?
I don't know, man. He whispering the can on, man. Oh,
That's not a tone.
that's a whisk.
That's a whisk.
I know it ain't a tongue. I'm whisking.
Look here, old
Yeah.
fake Steven Spielberg.
Come on,
He
Spike.
said he was
fake
using
Spike, Ike Lee.
Tone.
What's the other dude?
I didn't say nothing about no tone.
What's the other dude that did Boys in the Hood? Maybe not Boys in the Hood.
John Singleton.
Yeah.
I didn't say nothing about no tones. You hear me say something about some tone? Did I say something about some tone? My bad. I'm gonna whisk this together. Did I say it?
No, man, he getting above himself. Like, I don't know who he
You've been
is.
saying that for the past 2-3 years.
I told you that, man. He doing too much, man. He act like he wants to be in the front of the camera. Do you want to be over here, man?
Yeah.
Just come on over here, man. Come on over here, man. Come on. Come on over here, man. Since
So-
you with he's scared, not him scared.
Man, y'all crazy. I don't. Maybe I did say tones. I don't know. But listen, we
Whisk it up and make
whisking
glaze.
this together. We whisking it up together. I got it all whisked up. Can you come in here and see it a little bit?
Let's get up some more,
I am. You ain't got to. Let me tell you something, man.
man.
You the sous chef.
His wrist game ain't right. It's a whisk game, right?
My whisk game right. Come on in. Get it right. All right, so while he's whisking, which he should have been doing in the first place, guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna put this on the range and reduce it down for about 25 minutes.
Okay.
Is that good with you?
That's good with me.
We're gonna whisk it down, let it reduce for a few minutes, and then we'll be back to you. And we're gonna glaze that twice smoked ham out there, all right? Thank you for tuning in to Barbecue Bourbon and Blues. Make sure you subscribe, comment, like, and share the channel. We like having fun, so
Definitely. And let us know if y'all like to hear the
if you want to hear more jokes or
more
whatever,
jokes. If you want to hear more from the producer or the director, let us know. Or do y'all want him to be quiet? But y'all probably hear him whispering. Shh, shh, shh. Hey, y'all need to say this. Let us know.
Yep. So we'll catch you back in a few minutes after this has reduced, and we're out here at the smoker glazing the ham. All right.
Yes, sir.
Catch you back in a few minutes.
All right.
All right. Welcome back to Barbecue Bourbon and Blues with the Word Brothers. We're about to conclude the video of this twice smoked ham. We've glazed it. All the directions will be in the description below. I'm about to lift this up. As you see, we're on the Masterbuilt 1050 with Kingsford charcoal. All right, we're gonna lift it. I'm gonna show you what it is right here. You see that? All right, so we'll get back into this on the table in a few seconds, okay? Barbecue Bourbon and Blues with the Word Brothers. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode again with Barbecue Bourbon and Blues with the Word Brothers. We're concluding this episode of the twice smoked ham. Today we had a special guest. His name is Sam Polk Jr., man. The author of I Only Have an Hour.
The HBCU football book.
Yeah, from a Mississippi perspective,
Definitely.
you know. So we'd like to thank him for coming out. We really appreciate you, bruh. We're going to do some other things coming up. All right? So, you know, we got to get to the second star of the show today. All right?
All right.
So we're finishing up this twice smoked ham with this bourbon honey glaze on it.
Oh, yeah,
All right?
it's glazed up nice.
Yeah. So we about to take us a little bit, all right? I'm going to slide this knife out. And I'm just going to, oh, yeah.
It's nice and caramelized.
Yeah. So I'm going to get it right here. And I'm just going to go down a little bit.
Enough.
That's enough?
That's enough.
All right. We just going to catch it a little bit like so. I'm going to just split this in half. How about that, Skip?
That worked for me, man.
That work for you?
Yeah.
You ain't even got to go to Honey Baked Ham. We got you right here. I'm going to give you the taste master. See that? You see the smoke coming off of that thing?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. It's glazed right. And you can taste the glaze all the way through. Not like honey baked ham, you know, you just taste it on the outer rim.
On the top part.
This is going all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice.
So we're going to put that recipe down below. All right? So make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that bell. So when we put out another video, you will see it. All right? It'll automatically pop up on your phone. So hit the subscribe button if you like what we're doing. And hit the bell. All right? But I don't know. I wish y'all was here so y'all could taste this. But I'm finna get it on in We're gonna partake in a little bit more of this deliciousness, and we'll catch you back on another episode of Barbecue Bourbon and Blues with the Word Brothers.
Yes, sir.
Peace.